Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Moenics TV. Whoop whoop! I trust you're all doing very well. Welcome to a brand new episode, and yet again, Happy New Year, Happy 2025. If you're new to my channel, my name is Moyo Sere, and you can call me Moyo Sere, Moenics, Miss Rejoice, and any other good name you have for me. I'll be very happy to answer to them. Welcome guys. If you're new, please do remember to subscribe to my channel. Here on this channel, we talk about everything that has to do with life. We talk about faith, we talk about lifestyle, we talk about everything that aligns with the goals and the purpose of this YouTube channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch me. Thank you guys. You have made this channel worth it for me, and I'm grateful for the gift of you. Guys, today we are talking about something very important. We're talking about a very important topic, and from the caption, I'm sure you already know what that is. We're talking about 10 things that we are not doing in 2025, and that's why I'm wearing red. Ignore the caption. The caption says karma, but no, we are not here to wish anybody karma. We're talking about karma. We are just here to discuss 10 things that we are not doing in 2025. Let's dive right into the video. Okay guys, so the first thing that I have on my list is that this year 2025, we are not putting God last. We are not putting God last. This year, we are going to put God first in all things. When we wake up in the morning, the first thing we will do is to talk to God. Before you pick your phone, before you pick any other thing else, the first person you talk to when you wake up in the morning is God. Before you make any decision in this year 2025, the first person you talk to about it is God. Even before you talk to your mother, your father, your best friend, your confidant, your therapist, the first person you talk to this year is G-O-D, the capital G-O-D, God. So we are putting God first in all things in this year 2025. I hope that's self-explanatory because God comes first. He wants you to put him first in all things because that is your maker, that is your creator. He knows you in and out. My mom will say in toto. He knows you in toto. He knows you in and out. He knows what you want. He knows your desires. He knows that which you're going through currently. He knows everything about your whole life because he made you. He's your creator. So imagine you ignoring your creator, putting your creator last in all things. No, this year, flip it. Flip it. Flip it and make him the first in all things. Number two thing that we are not doing this year 2025, we are not staying small. If you are this person who God constantly gives ideas, God talks to you, and he tells you what to do per time, you know what God is pushing you to, you already know your purpose. If God has given you that big idea that you feel that you are even incapable of executing, regardless of whether you have the capacity or you have the resources or whatever, just start somehow. Do not stay small. Don't say because you don't have it, you will not start. Don't say, oh, you might not have the money to start it, or you might not have the resources to start it on the next 2 years, and then you keep that dream for the next 2 years. Don't do it that way. Start somehow. Don't stay small. Even if what you have to start doing right now is to start researching about that thing, to start, Googling online, going online to read about that thing that God has asked you to do and how to execute it. Start from somewhere. Do not stay small. Don't say you don't want to do it because you feel you don't have the capacity or you don't have the resources. Do not stay small. Don't let your mind or imaginations limit you. Start somehow. That's that. Then number three, we are not staying afraid. And number three is sort of related to number two. Do not stay afraid. A lot of times when we have these dreams, when we have these ideas, there's this fear that we have that, okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if it doesn't come out the way I want it to come out? What if people laugh at me? What if people say, what is she doing? What if people mock you? All of those things are what ifs. Why don't you leave the what ifs? Why don't you start from where you are? Why don't you start executing those things the way you can? Why don't you just start? Because the reality about life is that whether you do it big or you do it small or you don't do it at all, people will still have an opinion. People will still talk about you. People will still discuss you. Let me tell you something. If people don't talk about you, that means you don't exist. That means there's nothing about you. So please let people be free to talk. Let people be free to discuss you. Let them. I'm still going to talk to you about this concept called Let Them by Mel Robbins. But in this case, let's just continue. At the end of the day, if you do not do all of those things that God has placed in your heart to do, someone else is going to do those things and you're going to see them do it. it's going to come to your knowledge that someone else is doing that thing which you were meant to do, and you will most likely regret it. I'm sorry to say, you will most likely regret it. So whatever it is that God has placed in your heart, try to execute it and do not be afraid. In fact, like the word says, do it afraid. Number 4, we are not sitting in the seat of the scornful. This is biblical and it is in Psalm 1. Do not sit in the seat of the scornful. Who are the scornful? Who are those who sit in the seat of the scornful? People who sit in the seat of the scornful are those who criticize things of God, people who criticize miracles, people who criticize people, people who mock people. People who don't see good in others, people who just want to see others down. They're excited when other people are down. They're excited when people are in bad places, but when people are in good places, when people are doing well, when things are working, when the word of God is working, when people are basking in the love of God, they are always unsatisfied. They are always angry. They are always not happy. They always bad mouth things that have to do with good. They always bad mouth things that are of God or related to God. So this year, 2025, we all on this channel, you watching me, including myself, we are not sitting in the seat of the scornful. We are not mocking anyone. We are not rejoicing at the downfall of anyone. We are not bad-mouthing the things of God. We are not criticizing any pastor. We are not criticizing any religious minister. Regardless of what they do, people fall, people make mistakes, but we are not criticizing anyone. We are not making fun of people. We are not doing anything that God does not want us to do. We are not being scornful. We are not sitting in the seat of the scornful in 2025. The next thing that we are not doing in 2025, which is the 5th point, is that we are not people pleasing. We are not people pleasing. The summary of people pleasing is that when you say yes to people, or you do things for people even when you do not want to do those things, just because you want them to like you. That is people pleasing. A lot of times we find ourselves people pleasing. Even sometimes those of us who feel like we have ourselves, we want ourselves, we can say no. Sometimes we still find ourselves people pleasing, and that is just human nature. But some of us have this people pleasing attitude to a fault. We don't know how to say no to people. We don't know how to say oh, not right now, maybe later. We don't know how to set boundaries. We just want to do things for people. We just want to accept doing things for people just because we want them to like us. We don't want to be in their bad books. We don't want to create tensions. 2025, you need to start small. I know it can be hard for you to stop, especially if you are a real people pleaser. If you're a real people pleaser, like it's part of you from the word go, maybe it's a trauma from the past, maybe it's something that has been inbuilt in you from childhood. This year, 2025, you need to start working on yourself. I need to start working on myself, because people pleasing always ends up badly. It doesn't bring us any benefits, because even at the end of the day, people you're trying to please, you're trying to make them like you, you're trying to, make them excited about you and all of that. At the end of the day, they don't send you. In the Nigerian parlance, they don't send you. They don't send you. So why do you want to people please when you can actually take charge of your life? Do what you want to do what you feel comfortable doing, not because you want people to like you, not because you want to impress anybody. Just do what you can do. When it's time for you to say no, say no. Say no to things that make you uncomfortable. You don't have to do what you don't want to do. Stop it in 2025. The other thing we are not doing this year, 2025, is that we are not forcing relationships. We are not forcing relationships in 2025. If you are the kind of person who already knows that there's some cliques, some associations, some groups, some friendships, some relationships, whatever kind of relationship that you are not vibing with them, you really do not agree with how they do things, but because you just want to feel among, you just want to be there, you want to be seen in that group, 2025 is a good year to detach. 2025 is a good year to detach, especially if you know that those relationships are not good for you. If those relationships are not taking you to where you want to be, if those relationships are not adding to you positively, if those relationships are damaging you, but you are afraid, you are scared that, oh, if you cut off, if you detach, people will talk, people will say A, B, C, blah, blah, blah. You are going to hurt yourself further. You are getting yourself deeper into relationships that are not meant for you. Why don't you detach now? Relationships that are making you walk on eggshells, relationships where you are not yourself, you are pretending to be who you are not, relationship where you cannot share your opinions and ideas peacefully, cheerfully, relationships where you're uncomfortable. Respect yourself. and stop that relationship today. Number 7, this year we are not fighting every battle, meaning that this year we are picking our battles. As humans, there will always be battles, there will always be fights, there will always be arguments, there will always be uncomfortable, unpleasant situations, but we are not going to respond to all. This year, we are choosing to pick our battles, major on the major and minor on the minor. That's the simplest way I think I can explain this. Whatever you feel is going to drain your energy, is going to make you feel uncomfortable all through the day, is going to make you hate yourself, is going to make you think all through the night and beating yourself about it like, oh, I should have said this, I should have done this, I should have reacted this way, I should have kept quiet. Why should you even take up all of the battles? Pick your battles. You know yourself, you know who you are, you know what your strengths are, you know what your weaknesses are. So when all of these battles present themselves, think about them. Even before you talk, before you type that message, before you type that chat, before you type that email, think about it. Is this worth my time? Is this something I should spend my energy on? Should I overthink this? For overthinkers, you know what I'm talking about. Should I overthink this? Or should I just wave it off and just move on with your life? That should be an approach you should adopt this year, because by the time you fight every battle, you'll be exhausted. Even before mid-year, you'll be exhausted. How many battles do you want to fight alone? And when it comes to the spiritual angle of battles, you have God, right? Always table every battle before God and tell God, Daddy, I cannot handle this battle on my own. I cannot even fight it. I am handing it over to you because you are my God, you are my creator. Take over this battle. Number 8, this year we are not procrastinating. We are not procrastinating, and this one is really for me. Oh, Mo, you can procrastinate a lot. And I know there's some of you watching me that you're like that. You always procrastinate. You're like, oh, I can do this tomorrow. I'll do this next week. Sometimes there are certain things that will take just less than 5 minutes. There are certain things that will take less than an hour. If you have that hour now, why don't you do it? If you feel like you can be productive right now, why don't you do it now? Why do you have to postpone and say, hey, I'm going to do it next week, I'm going to do it next year? If you can do it now, do it now. Number 9, this year we are not afraid to try again. We are not afraid to do it again. We are not afraid to pick ourselves back up from where we have been dropped. We are not afraid to pick ourselves up from where life has dumped us. We are going to get up, dust our feet, try again. I don't know what situation or circumstance has beat you down. I don't know what happened to you in 2024 or even 2023 or even 5 years ago or even 10 years ago or when you were a child. Whatever that is, I want you to try this year 2025 to get yourself back up. I want you to try in this year 2025 to try again. Maybe it's an exam you failed. Do you want to try again? Is it a job or maybe a business that you failed at? Is this something you really want to try again? You want to give a second shot? You can try again. Now to the final point. Final point. This year, we are not putting ourselves down. A lot of times, we humans have this tendency of putting ourselves down even before the world puts us down. When that idea comes to your head, that brilliant idea, because most times when you receive those ideas, they're like, ooh, a light bulb moment, and you're like, okay, I can actually do this. But by the time you think through, you think and think and think, and then you begin to wonder, what if? Will people accept it? Is it good enough? Will they laugh at me? Will they make jest of me? Yada, yada, yada. You begin to put yourself down. And at the end of the day, you don't achieve that thing. This year, we are not going to do that. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever ideas come to you, whatever opportunities come to you, if there are actually things you want to do, if there are actually things that interest you, excite you, you feel you can make good out of them, please do not talk yourself out of doing those things. Do not put yourself down. Do not put your ideas off as not good enough. By whose standards? By whose yardstick? By what yardstick are you putting those things down? Even the folks that you are thinking of that they might say, oh, this is not good enough, they in their own minds, they are thinking of what to do. They are thinking of coming out of their own shells to do something good. They are thinking of how they can make their own lives better. So when you have those ideas, rather than put yourself down, rather than put those ideas down as not good enough, launch out. Launch out. So this year, we are not putting ourselves down. We are not talking down on ourselves. We are not presenting ourselves in the bad light. We are not presenting ourselves to the world as not good enough. We are not condemning what is ours. We are not condemning ourselves and our ideas. Rather, we are launching out and going for the gold. that is it, guys. Today, that is all I have for you. I hope you are going to make use of all of these points in this year 2025, and at the end of the day, I hope everything works out well for you. I hope you enjoy yourselves in the year 2025, and I hope your dreams, your goals, and your visions, your missions, everything comes true and works out for you. Till we see again, it's bye from your girl, Miss Rejoice. Bye, guys.